The city of San Francisco, the Bayside burg that gave us Nancy Pelosi and sidewalk toilets, is now proposing the ultimate in nonsense. A few $1 million of reparations for anyone whose grandparents came from the right continent at the right time. Actually, it's more generous than even that, because you might also be eligible if you were a victim of the drug war. That is, if you were a scumbag drug dealer justly imprisoned for slinging poison before the narcotics were effectively legalized by the same leftists whose hometown proposed this giveaway. Well, if a bunch of people who were never slaves should get free money from people who never owned slaves, I propose that the people forking over the dollars be the liberal San Francisco Democrats who never owned slaves. In fact, I think these idiots who, with their fellow race hustlers, freaky degenerates, and low IQ commie clowns who have turned the American dream effectively into a nightmare, owe the rest of us reparations for screwing up this country. So yeah, get out your checkbooks, you pathetic morons. It's time for you to pay us for having to put up with your nonsense. The only thing in question is the amount. But first, let's be clear about the nature of reparations. It's morally illiterate nonsense pushed by creeps and subscribed to by the greedy and or stupid. The idea that some people should get free money today from other people based on their race is, well, it's a moral atrocity so total and unambiguous that it could only be wholeheartedly embraced by the kind of morons and charlatans who make up the American left. There should be no conversation whatsoever about reparations, only a looming middle finger, demonstrating our refusal to accept the premise that this is worthy of consideration by decent folks. Michael Corleone said it best to Senator Pat Gary in Godfather 2. He said, "My offer is this: nothing." There is no debate here. There's no room for any sort of compromise in which people who committed no wrong except for the misfortune of being born with certain unfashionable genes give the fruit of their time and labor to other people with currently fashionable genes as penance for crimes that the former did not commit and that the latter did not suffer. They get nothing, not even a penny, and most importantly, not even an apology. No one alive today did wrong to anyone alive today. It's ritual abasement and humiliation, and we are not playing that. Blood guilt is a disgusting and primitive notion we will have no part of. Of course, there are some people besides the progs, race hustlers, and suckers who think their reparations check is in the mail. Love the idea. It's the KKK types, the kind of mouth breathers who would join the Democrat-founded organization. You see, a real racist loves the idea of separating people by race and making good people suffer because of it. That generates hate and resentment, upon which these parasites thrive. If you wanted to promote racism, and many of these race card counters seem entirely committed to do so, you would want to punish innocent people because of their skin color in favor of other people of a different skin color. What better way to promote dissent and resentment? The best thing that ever happened to the relatively few actual racists out there was white liberals and their idiotic ideas. Now, some people might call the total rejection of the moral abandonment of reparations racist, but some people are liars and or idiots, and who the hell cares what they say anyways? Because if you really think about it, if they don't call you racist for this, they will call you racist for something else, right? So you shouldn't really care about liars. Give them nothing except mockery and laugh at them. But this doesn't excuse the left from ponying up for the wrongs they themselves have committed upon the decent and the normal through their hideous policies, like crime. They like it, or at least do everything consistent with liking it. How about bankrupt the cops and impose prosecutors who won't prosecute? If you wanted a recipe for inner city bloodshed, well, that's it. And this recipe works very well. Every dead kid killed in a crossfire between gangbangers who got a pat on the head and a no bail release the last time they got caught rampaging is on the Democrats. There's a solution to crime. Do the opposite of what Lori Lightfoot does in Chicago. But the left, They won't do it. The budget. How many freeloaders are we carrying along because Uncle Sucker is passing out dollars to every bum, swindler, and lowlife with his, her, or its palms out? They have changed the purpose of government from protecting our borders, killing our enemies, and hanging criminals to providing cash to anyone too lazy to pull their weight. We, the normal people who work, deserve reparations from the indolent and lazy. Seriously though, folks, just look around you. The Rio Grande is a very, very busy highway instead of an obstacle. Perverts are trying to groom our children pretty much everywhere. Schools are conformity factories that churn out woke numbskulls who literally think the three branches of government are Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Though they might have a point. The left has imposed upon us a desiccated or dried out corrupt pervert as president and a ruling class as unaccomplished and greedy as he is. Our country used to be strong and smart and just in general great. But as yet another example, thanks to them, last week we were humiliated by a tiny blimp, and this week a train. What will come of next week? In closing, for those of us who built this country, who fed it and fueled it and made it function, who defend it and fund it, well, we deserve reparations from the people who have trashed it. So pay the hell up. Right after you roll up your own reparations demand real tight, light it on fire, and stuff it where only Hunter Biden would go looking for it. Most of this came by way of townhall.com. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.